The signal from the void. Captain Maya Jung stood motionless on the observation deck of the UES Vigilant, Earth's most advanced military vessel. The endless expanse of stars stretched before her, each one a distant sun potentially warming alien worlds. After 15 years in the United Earth Space Force, she had thought she'd seen everything. Then came the signal. Still processing it, Captain. Maya turned to find Dr. Soren Kaplan, the fleet's chief xenolinguist, stepping onto the deck. His tall, lanky frame seemed perpetually hunched, as though constantly bending toward some fascinating discovery. In his hand was the ever-present neural tablet, now displaying patterns Maya had come to recognize over the past 3 months. 3 months ago, we were still debating whether intelligent alien life existed, Maya said, turning back to the viewport. Now we're leading a battle fleet into deep space to save an alien civilization we've never met. Soren's fingers danced across his tablet. What's truly remarkable is how they found us specifically. The signal wasn't broadcast randomly. It was aimed directly at our solar system. The memory of that day remained vivid in Maya's mind. It had been a routine patrol of the Kuiper Belt when the Vigilance communication array detected the signal, a complex pattern of mathematical sequences and encoded visual data that defied natural explanation. For 2 weeks, the greatest minds on Earth worked tirelessly to decode it, with Soren leading the effort. When they finally succeeded, the implications shook human civilization to its core. They call themselves the Lumina, Soren had announced to the assembled United Earth Council, his voice betraying rare emotion. Their civilization spans 3 star systems, and they're being systematically hunted by a species they call the Drax Collective. And they reached out to us specifically, General Ediemi had asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. Yes, Soren replied, because of what we are. The council chamber had fallen silent. And what exactly are we? Asked Counselor Chen. Deathworlders, Soren answered simply. Their scans of our planet classified Earth as a Class 12 death world. Extreme gravity, atmospheric oxygen levels, weather patterns, and predatory evolutionary pressures. Their homeworld is a Class 3. The Drax evolved on a Class 8 world, challenging, but nothing like Earth. The Lumina transmissions included detailed biological scans of their species, bioluminescent beings with delicate features, 4 arms, and large compound eyes. They had evolved in an environment with minimal predation, gentle weather, and abundant resources. Their society had advanced through cooperation and intellectual development, rather than competition and survival pressures. The Drax, by contrast, appeared reptilian with metallic-like scales, evolved for aggression and territorial dominance. They had achieved interstellar travel before the Lumina and had spent generations conquering less aggressive species. The Lumina have offered us technology in exchange for protection, Soren had continued. Faster than light travel, advanced energy manipulation, medical breakthroughs, technology centuries ahead of our own. That had been the beginning. For 3 months, humanity worked with single-minded purpose, building a fleet using Lumina schematics modified with human innovation. The aliens had designed elegant, efficient ships. Humanity redesigned them to be stronger, more redundant, and significantly more heavily armed. Final structural reinforcements are complete on all 12 vessels, Soren said, drawing Maya back to the present. The engineers are calling it human-grade hardening. Maya smiled. The Lumina build things to perfect specifications. We build things to withstand Armageddon. In their communications, the Lumina engineers seemed perpetually confused by humanity's insistence on redundant systems, multiple backups, and reinforced hulls. For a species that evolved in harmony with their environment, the human need to prepare for worst-case scenarios was utterly foreign. Across the docking bay, Maya could see the fleet preparing for its first faster-than-light jump. 12 vessels, each crewed by Earth's finest, soldiers, scientists, engineers, and diplomats. All volunteers, all aware they might never see Earth again. Captain Zhang to the bridge. the ship's AI announced. Final jump preparations are underway. Maya took one last look at the distant blue marble of Earth. Let's go make history, Doctor. On the bridge, Admiral Helena Rivera was reviewing the final departure checklist. A veteran of the Water Wars and the Mars Rebellion, she had been the unanimous choice to lead humanity's first interstellar mission. All ships report ready, Admiral. Communications Officer Patil announced. The Lumina coordinates are locked into the navigation system. Rivera nodded. Captain Jung, as our tactical officer, your assessment. Maya straightened. The fleet is as prepared as possible, Admiral. The Lumina schematics have given us technological parity, but we're still facing an enemy with vastly more combat experience. Our advantage lies in our unpredictability and evolutionary adaptations. And that, Captain, Rivera replied, is precisely why we will succeed. She turned to the view screen showing the assembled fleet. All ships prepare for FTL jump. Operation Lighthouse begins now. No simulation could have prepared them for the reality of faster-than-light travel. Space itself seemed to fold around the Vigilant, compressing 20 light-years into a journey of mere hours. When they emerged, the view screen showed a distant star system, the Lumina homeworld of Elysium. Around it, the unmistakable signs of war, debris fields, energy signatures indicating weapons discharge, and dozens of unknown vessels in combat formations. Multiple contacts, Tactical Officer Rodriguez reported. Configuration matches Lumina data on Drax warships. They've spotted us, Patil added, receiving transmission from the surface of Elysium. The view screen shifted to show one of the bioluminescent Lumina, its light pulsing weakly in distress patterns. Earth vessels, the translation came through. You came. We feared you would not truly come. Admiral Rivera stepped forward. This is Admiral Helena Rivera of Earth. We received your distress call and have come to render assistance. The Lumina's bioluminescence brightened slightly. The Drax have already destroyed our outer colonies. Our homeworld is under siege. Their main fleet will arrive within one planetary rotation. Understood, Rivera replied. Humanity has never backed down from a fight. We will need all information you have on Drax tactics and vulnerabilities. As the Lumina began transmitting tactical data, Maya studied the approaching Drax vessels. They moved with precision and coordination, clearly experienced in space combat. Captain, Soren called from his station, excitement evident in his voice. The Lumina have just sent complete schematics of Drax ship designs, including power distribution networks. Maya quickly analyzed the data. Admiral, I'm seeing a critical vulnerability. The Drax ships channel all power through a central conduit before distribution. If we can disrupt that conduit, Rivera nodded. Then we cut off power to their weapons and shields simultaneously. Clever. She turned to the communication station. All ships, form defensive positions around Elysium. We engage the enemy in 30 minutes. As the Earth fleet moved into position, Maya felt a strange calm settle over her. Humanity had spent its entire history fighting against nature, predators, and each other. Now, those harsh evolutionary pressures that had forged humans into resilient survivors would face their ultimate test against an enemy from the stars. Drax fleet approaching weapons range, Rodriguez reported. All hands to battle stations, Rivera ordered. Let's show them what Deathworlders can do. The first volley from the Drax ships came with devastating precision. Energy beams slicing through space toward the Earth vessels. But the reinforced hulls and modified shields held. Return fire, Rivera commanded. Target their central power conduits. The modified Lumina weapons technology, enhanced with humanity's penchant for overwhelming force, erupted from the Earth ships. The Drax vessels reeled from the unexpected power of the counterattack. They're adjusting their formation, Maya observed. They've never encountered resistance like this from a species they're attacking. And they never will again, Rivera said grimly. All ships, execute battle plan Thermopylae. The Earth fleet suddenly shifted into an aggressive offensive pattern that the Lumina tactical advisors had insisted was suicidal. But humans had been fighting against overwhelming odds throughout their history. As the battle raged across the Elysium system, the Drax commanders faced something they had never encountered, an enemy that didn't retreat, that adapted to their tactics in real time, and that seemed to fight more effectively when damaged. Admiral, Maya reported after 2 hours of intense combat, the Drax fleet is withdrawing to regroup. Rivera nodded. As expected, they're used to breaking the will of their opponents in the first engagement. They don't know that humans have evolved to become more dangerous when cornered. Soren looked up from his station. The Lumina are requesting communication, Admiral. Their High Council wishes to speak with you. The view screen shifted to show a group of Lumina, their bioluminescence forming complex patterns of gratitude and awe. Admiral Rivera, the lead Lumina began. You have done what we thought impossible. You have stood against the Drax and survived. For the first time in a generation, our people feel hope. This was only the first engagement, Rivera cautioned. The Drax will return with greater numbers. But now they know what humans are capable of, the Lumina replied. Already, word spreads among the subjugated worlds of the Deathworlders who fight for freedom. Maya exchanged a glance with Soren. In less than a day, humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as protectors. We should prepare for their return, Maya suggested. And this time, we'll be ready with a few more human surprises. As the Vigilant moved into orbit around Elysium, Maya watched the repair crews working on the battle damage. The ship had taken hits, but like humanity itself, it had endured. The real war was just beginning, but for the first time in galactic history, the predators had become the prey. The Deathworlders had arrived. The Deathworlders respond. 3 days after the initial skirmish, Maya stood in the command center beneath the surface of Elysium, surrounded by holographic displays of the system's defensive positions. Beside her, Admiral Rivera studied the tactical projections, while Lumina strategists watched in fascination. Your species approaches warfare unlike any we've encountered, said Etheria, the Lumina military coordinator, her bioluminescence shifting in patterns that Soren had translated as indicating deep curiosity. You simultaneously prepare for 17 different contingencies. On Earth, we call that Tuesday, Maya replied with a slight smile. When you evolve on a planet that's constantly trying to kill you, you learn to expect the unexpected. The truth was, humanity's approach to warfare had shocked the Lumina almost as much as the Drax aggression had. Where the Lumina planned for optimal outcomes and the Drax relied on overwhelming force, humans prepared for catastrophic failure at every turn and built systems to survive it. Long-range sensors detecting multiple FTL signatures. Communications Officer Patel's voice came through Maya's neural link. Drax reinforcements have arrived. Maya wasn't surprised. The Drax, used to quick subjugation of less aggressive species, wouldn't retreat after one defeat. How many vessels? 47, Patel replied after a moment, including what appears to be their command carrier. Rivera joined the conversation through the neural network. They'd brought their alpha to deal with us directly. Good. The Admiral's confidence wasn't bravado. For 3 days, Earth's scientists and engineers had worked alongside Lumina specialists, integrating human tactical innovations with Lumina technology. The results were promising, if untested. Begin Operation Thunderstrike, Rivera ordered. Captain John, you have tactical command of the destroyer group. Maya nodded, already moving toward the surface transport. Understood, Admiral. An hour later, Maya stood on the bridge of the Vigilant, watching as the Drax fleet formed a precise battle formation at the edge of the system. They're being cautious, observed Lieutenant Commander Ortiz, her second in command. The first engagement taught them respect. Not enough, Maya replied. Initiate communications. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a Drax commander. Its metallic scales gleamed under the ship's lighting, vertical pupils narrowing as it regarded Maya with clear disdain. I am War Leader Krasik of the Drax Collective. The translation came through. Your interference in our rightful conquest violates the natural order. Primitive species such as yours should know their place. Maya kept her expression neutral. This is Captain Maya Jong of Earth. We represent the Lumina in this matter by mutual agreement. Your forces will withdraw from this system immediately or face the consequences. The Drax commander made a sound that the translator interpreted as derisive laughter. Your minor victory was an anomaly. We have studied your tactics and adapted. Your extinction is inevitable. We've heard that before, Maya replied calmly, usually right before we prove otherwise. As the communication ended, Soren approached her station. They've analyzed our previous battle strategies and countermeasures, but they're still thinking like Drax. And that's their weakness, Maya agreed. All ships, execute dispersal pattern Delta. The Earth fleet suddenly broke formation, scattering in seemingly random directions that would have horrified any conventional military strategist. The Drax responded exactly as predicted, adjusting their tight formation to pursue what they perceived as fleeing vessels. All ships deploy gravity mines, Maya ordered. Hundreds of small devices launched from the Earth vessels, invisible to Drax sensors. As the Drax fleet advanced, the devices activated, creating localized gravity distortions that played havoc with their precision formation. Now, execute hammer and anvil, Maya commanded. The scattered Earth fleet suddenly reversed course, converging on the disoriented Drax vessels from multiple vectors. The Drax ships, designed for coordinated group attacks, found themselves isolated and vulnerable. Direct hit on the command carrier's power conduit, Rodriguez reported. Their shields are fluctuating. Maya nodded. All ships focus fire on designated targets. Deploy boarding teams. This was the element of human warfare that had most shocked both the Lumina and the Drax, the willingness to engage in direct physical combat. The Drax, despite their predatory nature, had evolved toward technology-based warfare, considering direct combat primitive and inefficient. They were unprepared for squads of human marines in powered armor breaching their hulls. Boarding teams reporting success, Patil announced. They've secured engineering sections on 3 Drax destroyers. Maya smiled grimly. The Drax would learn what humans had known for millennia. Technology was a tool, not a replacement for the warrior's spirit. Admiral, Maya called. Phase 1 complete. Ready for Phase 2. From the surface of Elysium, a fleet of newly constructed vessels rose into orbit, Lumina ships retrofitted with human-designed weapon systems. Under Rivera's command, they formed a secondary attack wave, while the Drax were occupied with the initial Earth fleet. The Drax command carrier is retreating, Rodriguez reported. Should we pursue? Negative, Maya replied. Let them go. We want survivors to spread the word. As the battle wound down, with the remaining Drax vessels either captured or in retreat, Maya allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. Humanity's first interstellar conflict had ended in victory, but not through technological superiority or overwhelming numbers. They had won through adaptability, creativity, and the unique perspective that came from evolving on a death world. 3 days later, representatives from 12 previously subjugated species arrived at Elysium for an unprecedented gathering. Maya stood with Admiral Rivera and Dr. Kaplan as the Lumina High Council addressed the assembly. For generations, the Drax Collective has expanded unchecked through our region of space. The High Council speaker began, light patterns flowing across their body in formal oratory patterns. Species with biological or cultural tendencies toward peaceful coexistence were systematically targeted and conquered. The speaker gestured toward the human delegation. Then came the Deathworlders, a species evolved under conditions we can barely comprehend. Where we saw impossibility, they saw challenge. Where we surrendered, they adapted. Maya watched as the representatives studied the humans with mixtures of awe and cautious hope. To these species, evolved on gentle worlds, humans must seem like creatures of legend, enduring conditions that would kill them in minutes, fighting with a ferocity born from eons of survival against the odds. We propose the formation of an interstellar cooperative, the speaker continued, with humanity providing defense and protection, while we contribute our technological and cultural advancements. Admiral Rivera stepped forward. Earth accepts this proposal. We came to the stars seeking new horizons and found not just new worlds, but new friends who need our help. As the assembly erupted in displays of approval, some vocal, others expressed through light, color, or pheromones, Soren leaned close to Maya. "The Drax will return," he said quietly. "This victory has only delayed them." "Let them come," Maya replied. "For the first time, they're facing an enemy that evolved fighting predators rather than being prey, and we're just getting started." Later that evening, Maya stood once again on the observation deck of the Vigilant, but this time she wasn't alone. Representatives from each allied species had gathered for the traditional Earth custom of sharing a meal, another concept foreign to many of them. "Is it true?" asked a Talaxian diplomat, their translucent skin shifting colors with curiosity, "that your world experiences atmospheric pressure changes that would crush many of our bodies?" "We call them thunderstorms," Maya replied. "Children on Earth often sleep through them. And you have organisms on your world that inject poison through hollow biological projectiles?" asked another representative. "Snakes," Soren supplied. "Some humans keep them as pets." A murmur of astonishment passed through the gathering. To beings evolved on worlds with minimal environmental threats, Earth seemed like a nightmare realm. And humans, the impossible creatures who not only survived there but thrived. Admiral Rivero raised a glass. "To new beginnings, new alliances, and a new future for all our peoples." As the gathering continued, Maya gazed out at the stars. Humanity had spent its history looking up at the night sky, wondering if they were alone. Now they knew the answer, and had found their purpose among the stars. Not as conquerors, but as guardians. The Deathworlders had found their place in the galaxy, doing what they had always done best, surviving against the odds and protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. And the galaxy would never be the same.